welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to For the Fan, episode number 95. I am Will. We got Colton, Jake, and Dom here. Hello, gentlemen. Good evening.
What's up?
You.
I gotta get this off my chest really quick. Okay, Monday morning, you wake up. It's not. Oh, hey, it's the beginning of the work week. Nah, I just want to go on the Twitter. I just want to know, like, hey, what's going on in the world? Nah. Elon Musk says, nah, we're changing that. We're changing it to X. Like, screw you, get off it. It's not Twitter anymore. It's X. Just hold up the big X there. I am very disappointed. I'm very disappointed. Not retweets, they're reposts. They're not X's you post about. They're just posts.
Yeah, you don't say to someone like, "Hey, go look at my X." That's not what you say.
Have you seen my X's? Like, no,
yeah.
I'm like so.
Have you been on my?
Have you seen my X? Like,
yeah, no. You see all my X's yesterday?
I went back. Okay, what was it? I saw a thing where Elon Musk, he was trying to purchase PayPal and he was trying to change that to PayPal X and then just make it X. So he's had this weird fascination with just the letter X for so long. And the same thing comes about. Sounds like an adult website the entire time. What's going on there?
And you know what I noticed, which really threw me off on Monday when the changeover happened on the whole notifications and everything on the iPhone, is the X, by the way, is like the same font as the A in the Athletic.
Oh, yeah.
So when I get notifications for Athletic and notifications for Twitter/X now, to me, my brain just sees the Athletic because it's a black background and then just like the same font as the Athletic, but it's an X. So it took me like a whole entire day to realize it wasn't the Athletic I was getting a bunch of notifications from. It was X. So
there's already like Xbox. There's all these
It's
logos
awful.
or
We made an
X's.
awful investment. We made an awful investment into Twitter, and I was trying to make some money off of it. And it's
No,
not
he's trying to
going-
make a meme. That's all that it is. He just wants the meme.
And it's turned into a meme, just like the team that finished last place in the AFC North, and they're going to do it again. Boys, this is my episode. This is my episode. We talked 30 damn minutes about the Falcons last week. This is my damn episode. We're talking AFC North. You're in my background. Steeler Nation popping in right now on Twitter. I see you guys from Steeler Nation. What is up? Give me the Browns, Will. I'm tired of this. Give me the Browns.
Let's hit this intro. Let's go in right now. Let's go.
Give me the
Let's go
Browns.
in. You're listening to For the Fan.
You are listening to For the Fan.
As stated, Colton's the main character of this episode. I'm going to throw him in the host chair because that's what he does. I could be an analysis person for this one.
No. You're good hosting. We're just talking AFC North, baby. We're just talking AFC North.
I'll throw you in the driver's seat when we get into the Steelers on the second team here. But let's throw on the banner here really quick because it's not going to be blocking anyone's face for right now. Let's dive in here. Let's take a look at this great team, the Cleveland Browns. We do a lot of Browns every day on the toilet after a nice cup of coffee, but let's jump in.
And they do a lot of it on the field.
Kind of looks like that logo.
So last year, the Browns were in the sweepstakes to get Mr. Deshaun Watson. Somehow, with everything pushed aside, they somehow acquire him for 3 ones and a couple other picks. They all send that to Cleveland. They ship up this quarterback to a fully guaranteed deal, I believe $230 million. Suspended the first 11 games due to his whole massage thing that went on during COVID in 2021 as well. He now gets to enter 2023 as the it's a full-on starter for the Cleveland Browns. And this team, it's pretty interesting. Besides someone breaking into the field and using one of those golf carts to rip donuts in the center of their field before their game with the Buccaneers last year, which is still pretty funny to this day. And let's get into it. Dom, you could be the technical side of it.
You were doing it anyway. You were like, let me do the banner. Let me do that. I was like, all right.
All right, here. I'll let you do it. I'll let you do it all the rest of the way.
You got it. You can talk.
Okay. So Deshaun Watson, a QB1, and maybe we'll see some progression with this Cleveland Browns offense. They go out, they trade for Elijah Moore, they acquire a third to help the Jets move up to number 42. So they get themselves another playmaker for Watson, entering his third year in the league. I mean, hey, Amari Cooper's still there. Donovan Peoples-Jones is still there. The offensive line, besides the center, I honestly really enjoy this offensive line. I think it's one of the better ones in the league. And how can we also forget David Njoku, Jordan Atkins? This offense has the potential to be something amazing. And also, let's not forget Nick Chubb. This offense has the makings of being a star-studded offense in the league. I really think so.
Have we not said like every year though? I mean, like
but
yeah, I mean, you said it too. The Browns, they stacked in the offseason. They stacked. They're going to be doing stuff this year.
Yes, maybe I did. But every preseason going into the season, when we look at this, we look at this team on paper, it's been like, oh, this team stacked up this season. Look at this offense. Look at this quarterback now. Defense, cool. Like, it's just never okay. I don't know.
Boys.
Yeah.
One simple quote here: "The Browns is the Browns." So otherwise proven, the Browns is the Browns, and that's kind of where I'm at with this team. And yeah, the talent's there, great. Like I've heard about the talent on this roster for the past 3 years, and nothing really to show for it. Congrats! Like, hey, you got Deshaun Watson. He didn't look like he wanted to play football last year. I don't think he really wants to play football in Cleveland, but it's the only team that was willing to pay him the fully guaranteed contract. So he kind of has to show up. I don't think this is going to be another great season for the Browns. Like, Amari Cooper is great. He looked really good last year as well. But my goodness, it's the same team. And it's weird in the North. And we'll get to the rest of the teams here soon. But the Browns own the Bengals. And the Ravens own the Browns. Like, it is wild how teams own each other in the division. And it's like, what? You would think the Bengals would light up Cleveland. No, they can't stop the run. They can't stop Nick Chubb. So they just literally have to hand the ball off to Nick Chubb, control the game, because unless Deshaun Watson takes a huge step forward this year, I wasn't impressed with him last year. He should have had the mentality like, damn, Cleveland went out, traded for me after all my shenanigans off the field. Showed up like, yeah, this is what to look forward to next season. He didn't give me that if I'm a Browns fan. I'm thinking, oh, boy, we paid this guy this much? I get it. There's more weapons in the receiver room now. I get it. But what am I excited about here in Cleveland? Like, cool. Like, he's got a full offseason now with the wideouts. Don't give me that baloney. He was throwing with the guys beforehand. You don't act a fool here. He was throwing with the receivers beforehand. So, again, Browns is the Browns. I'll believe it when I see it. When I see Cleveland, like, putting on a show, like, okay, when we take them seriously, that is when I will do so. And I think a lot of teams in the North will think the same way.
I think that's the best way to put it is you got to wait. You got to see until they actually put it together. If they have old Deshaun Watson, that's a good chance they put it together. Yes. But again, we haven't seen that in a while either. So it's it's a match. Thing we haven't seen in a while and thing we haven't seen in a while.
It's been quite a while since we've seen good football under Deshaun Watson. So, and again, like I said, the team that went out, paid for him after everything, he didn't look like he wanted to come out and prove like, yeah, you don't want to play Cleveland next year. Didn't show me that. He didn't say, all right, Cleveland, thank you for, taking me after all my bull crap. And let's go. I'm going to put on a show, and this is what you're getting next season. Imagine a full season of this. Yeah, you don't want to mess with Cleveland. I didn't see any of that. I did not seem any bit scared of Cleveland last year.
His last full season, though, you go back to that historic 2020 Texans team where they were just a dumpster fire. 70% completion percentage, 4,823 yards. I think he led the league in passing that year. 33 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. That's with Will Fuller, Brandon Cooks, Akins at tight end. And that's also, David Johnson at running back as well.
Well,
that was a dumpster fire.
You said the years.
Yeah,
you said the years.
Yeah,
I haven't seen that in a little bit, Will, for a guy that
he hasn't been on the field in a little bit.
I know, but that's my point.
I think he's going to shake off. I think we could see a better Deshaun Watson than what 2020 gave. I think Deshaun Watson could be arguing as the second best quarterback in the AFC North, behind Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow's undisputed one. I don't think that's going to be touched. But
Okay. I don't disagree with what Will just said in saying that he might be the second best quarterback in the AFC North. Here's the thing. Whatever Deshaun Watson is, and even Deshaun Watson of last year, okay, when he was playing, was still a starting quarterback in this league. I don't think there's an argument there. He's still like, I'd put him top 20 probably easy, without knowing or seeing that much from him. I think that, if he's a top 12 quarterback this year, I don't think that's an awful thing. Like, if I'm the Browns, like, okay, I will take that. After everything, after last season, maybe the offense got just a tiny bit better, I guess. But I don't know. I want to go to defense first before I say more where it's like an overall team thing.
I don't know. A full offseason where he's not having to worry about this whole suspension thing, I think is going to do a lot better for him. But I know what he did is just going to be following him for just the rest of his career and potentially the rest of his life. So the suspension's out of the way. I really think he could be a 40 touchdown passer quarterback. I really think so. I think we could see that.
It's like that's
those
like
2020 numbers.
That's like on the better side of what it could be, I feel like.
Again, the potential's there. It's just been a long time since we've seen it, and it could have came right out of the gate last year to prove a point in the, kind of like say Cleveland, this is what you got. If I'm Cleveland, I'm not loving what I saw out of Deshaun Watson. Again, has the potential to be very good. He's also not playing the dumpster fire defenses that he was while he was in Houston. He's in the AFC North, or we're going to look at all the defenses.
Yeah, the best defenses in the.
They are all loaded in the AFC North. So let's go. Let's get right into the defense here. A lot of talent in Cleveland. Clearly the big one, Myles Garrett up front. They signed Zadarius Smith as well in the offseason as he was cut from Minnesota. The front's very good. Let's not discredit it at all. Like, the North has amazing fronts and is led by one of the best pass rushers in football in Myles Garrett. Their back end's really good. They did lose some pieces in the secondary. I think John Johnson left. So not as great in the secondary, but you got Denzel Ward there still. But the front is where it all happens in the North, and it is no different here in Cleveland.
I also love, Thornhill. He came in from Kansas City this year. Ogbo Okwonkwo, another good guy from Houston. He had a pretty good game against the Titans last year when Malik Willis was starting at quarterback. The second time, the frozen Christmas Eve game. But what I like about this defense is I think they gave Myles Garrett the best possible opposite end edge rusher to complement him. Because he had Olivier Vernon, who I think was acquired through the Odell Beckham trade. He was okay. He was middle of the road. He wasn't great, but he wasn't bad. But he was also on the older side after being with the Dolphins for such a long time. And then Jadeveon Clowney was just kind of like super hit or miss for most of the time. But I think Zadarius Smith's going to be that ultimate complementing piece. I don't want to say Cleveland's like that, oh, hey, if you're a linebacker, this is where linebackers go to die kind of thing. Like, oh, hey, this is like the end of the road career stuff. I think Zadarius Smith still has a lot of fuel in the tank, and acquiring him for, I think, a 5th and a 7th round pick. I'm ready to see what Cleveland could do up front, especially with Zadarius Smith being added.
I got to piggyback right off of what Will said because I feel like that's absolutely the truth.
Yeah, I took your quote.
You did, 100%. I've always said the Cleveland Browns are where pass rushers just go to die and their career because we've seen time after time, offseason after offseason now for like the last 5 years, these premier pass rushers go to Cleveland and then you just like never see their career again and that's it. And now it was last year, 2 years ago now, where there was quotes out of the locker room saying this team doesn't care about anything other than Myles Garrett's stats. And as long as he has good games, nothing else matters kind of stuff. That's how a player felt about the organization and how they run the team. So it all kind of lined up with me thinking that already and me saying that previously. And I don't know. I don't trust any pass rushers going to this team and showing out like they've showed out their whole career, like Zadarius Smith, which he is phenomenal. He was fantastic for the Packers. Like, but I don't know. I just don't trust it. It is what it is. We'll see when or if it happens.
And this is still a 10-sack guy. Like, he's not like, oh, hey, end of the line kind of thing. Like,
you got to hope not. But again,
this brings me back to when I was playing Madden, and then you can have duplicates. Like, I would run like 7 Zadarius Smiths because he was the fastest linebacker in the game, and I would just stack him on every single like front 7 position I could.
He was a fun guy to watch too, and he was a big part of. He was a big defensive presence. But I hope that's also the case. I hope they could figure that out or something, or I hope they include other defensive players in their stuff. I don't know. The whole Myles Garrett thing, it definitely rubs me the wrong way still. The quotes out of the locker room and just the evidence beforehand.
Was there anyone that do we know like who like leaked that out? But wasn't there also a thing about Jadeveon Clowney too that leaked out, and then that's why he like didn't play the last game of the season?
It could have been him that said it, to be honest.
I think it may have been him.
But I mean, yeah, I don't know. But obviously, that's not the most trustworthy voice I feel like at this point either. But I don't know. I was thinking it and it was said. So it's not completely out of place.
Any other thoughts?
I know the secondary. It's never been.
I mean, Colton introduced it, so it was like.
Yeah, I kind of said my piece on it. Again, their front's very good. We'll see if they can finally pair someone up with Myles Garrett because they've been looking for it his whole time there. Really haven't found someone to like, yes, this is our guy that's kind of like what the Steelers have had. I mean, the next team up on our list, the Steelers have had Bud Dupree, Alex Highsmith. Like the Steelers have had someone to run along with TJ Watt, where Cleveland really hasn't. You just named the guys, Olivier Vernon, Zadarius Smith now. Jadeveon Clowney, like it just the guys haven't fit. So could Zadarius Smith be the guy? Again, like I said earlier on Cleveland, I believe it when I see it. Like, I got to see Zadarius Smith do it and be, a bookend for Myles Garrett.
Yeah, so I mean, like Cleveland had like Cameron Wembley for a while. This is going like mid 2000s. Cameron Wembley. They had just Paul Kruger they took from Baltimore, even though he was on like his way out. But they had some really good like presence there. But just having that opposite end guy, I think they could just really do a whole lot of stuff.
Yeah, and just to confirm, it was Jadeveon Clowney. He said stuff like, it's just BS. I don't have time for it. Talking about how they move around the defense and stuff just to accommodate Myles Garrett and how the organization just cares about him getting his numbers.
Clowney is also like one of the bigger.
He's on the bench right now. He's on the couch doing nothing.
It's not the most trustworthy voice either. And he ended up apologizing about it and whatnot.
And also, you're going to do that with your best defensive player. You're going to move him around and get him mismatches and let him, do his thing. So it's a very dumb quote, and it's why he really hasn't panned out since coming out of South Carolina. So I kind of tells you all you need to know.
Let's head into the schedule because this is going to be interesting here. And I want to highlight the first game, which is against the Bengals. And now we know Joe Burrow has the calf injury and all that stuff. I think it's a 50-50. He could really play that week, but I mean, we'll know closer to when it gets to like kickoff. But I think that's a very good matchup to have week 1. You go against Joe Burrow, and you might not play Joe Burrow. You might play like Trevor Siemian or someone like that. You're going to just be playing a not a very good backup. But then, having to play the AFC North, your first 3 or 4 games is a super, super brutal stretch.
Yeah, geez, when has a team ever opened with their first 4 games? 3 of them are division games.
The Jets had to play the entire AFC North their first 4 games last year, and that was the most obnoxious thing I've ever had to see.
Hey, and Joe Burrow last year, don't forget, he opened that half with like 5 interceptions to begin. I mean, he ended up, I think.
Yeah, he gave the Steelers defense like 78 fantasy points.
It's true.
And that's when Don was about to just say, you know what? I'm done.
I changed my fantasy name to like Joe Burrow sucks or something.
He did.
It goes all the way to the championship.
Hey, bro, I was like, I picked Joe Burrow thinking, but yeah, whatever.
He has pretty much the same calf injury again opening the year this time again.
Yeah, we'll talk about Joe Burrow a lot more later and his wild preseasons that he had to experience.
Also, keep in mind while looking at the schedule, guys, that this entire division, and you'll see it on the team slides and whatnot. This entire division went 3-3 in the division last year. The entire one, top to bottom, every team went 3-3. Just keep that in mind when thinking about these schedules and stuff.
Honestly, they might honestly split all games again. Like, I don't really think who can like be like the advantage guy. But
The North
I think
is
looking
very
at
balanced.
it here, let's see. I think they can go 2-2 before the bye. Maybe even 1-3, depending on
It sucks.
1-3, just depending on if Joe Burrow is going to stay healthy. I think that's a big thing. But I mean, we've also seen the Browns be really competitive against the Bengals, and that's without with Jacoby Brissett.
Oh man,
This is brutal, man. I think let's see, 3-3, 3-4. They're gonna beat the Cardinals 58-0. That's just gonna be my quote every time I see them on a schedule.
I have like a potential 8-win season, I guess.
I can see 9.
Yeah,
Yeah.
9.
I don't think there's a team in this division that could go under 500. I think they're all like over 500s.
Nah.
Yeah, it's around that too. 9 wins, 9-10 wins.
But that brutal stretch too. You got to go at Denver. Depends what you could get in Los Angeles.
Look at
you go to Jackson.
Two division games and then Denver. So not even just I wouldn't even start at Denver, but 2 division games, then Denver, and then like you said, the stretch: Rams, Jacksonville. Yeah.
But I wouldn't be surprised if the Browns are a team that can like squeak a playoff spot. There's honestly 10 AFC teams that can fight for the playoffs, but 7 can only get in.
Yeah,
but
we'll see.
I don't think a 9-win team's going to be able to squeeze in there and get there. I think it's like you got to have double-digit wins.
Yeah.
But whenever it's talked about the AFC, oh, hey, you need double-digit wins to get in, there's always a team with like 9 wins that just squeaks in.
When it comes out of AFC South. Dumpster fire. Dumpster fire to the South.
Shall we move? Let's get back in here really quick.
You're
Okay?
not gonna ask the question.
Oh yeah. Let me go back there. I'm sorry. I wanted to pull up this comment. Okay.
That was the whole question thing that he always asks.
Yes. Let's go back here. So, well, no, I'm gonna ask it like this because this is better.
Yeah. Okay.
To make this season successful, what do the Browns have to do to achieve it?
Deshaun Watson. 2 words. Deshaun Watson is how the season goes. If it's Deshaun Watson as last year when we saw him, yeah, they're going to be finishing at the bottom of the North. And if
not one word, not touchdown, score more points than the other team.
No,
that's 5.
If we see the Deshaun Watson of 2020, could be talking about the division winners. You don't know what you're getting. It's a coin flip and it's a risk. And Cleveland took the risk because their quarterback situations, for the past 20 years has been an absolute dumpster fire. So this is what happens. You take a chance on this wonderful human being, and that's kind of where it is. It's what it is. Deshaun Watson's the key to this whole thing.
I also found a stat too. You could keep on talking up. I gotta find it really quick.
So one, Deshaun Watson's the obvious answer, and like I said before, if maybe he's a maybe he's a top 10 quarterback this season. Maybe I call that a success because now we got a future and it's like maybe I can look forward to something, right? Other part, maybe to make it a little bit more successful than usual. I say we take this logo away. I'd be pretty happy about that. I'd say that's definitely a
No. They have a new logo that they're putting in the 50-yard line. They had a fan vote, and it's the dog. It's a dog. It has little Easter eggs and all that stuff. And it's like, oh, hey, here's Ohio's in it, like the colors and all that stuff match the schemes. Like they have a whole midfield logo that they did a whole fan vote for.
So you're telling me the fans didn't vote for this, is what you're saying?
I'm not saying the fans did vote for that or they didn't vote for that. I'm not gonna say that. Hold on, I'm gonna look it up.
It sounds like they didn't vote for it. I'm gonna say that much. And you know what? Good for them. Way to take charge. Maybe someone will drive on top of it next year again.
Can the Browns actually get a playoff year? For once? I think that's the most, if that happens, it's a success regardless. Just make the playoffs.
That's fair.
For once.
That's definitely fair.
This is the midfield logo for the 2023 season.
It's pretty cool.
It's kind of cool. I mean, it's a lot better.
They have a whole bunch of Easter eggs and stuff like that. I'm not sure if that's the county or stuff they play in, but they have just, if I could find the breakdown of it, I would. But there's just so many things that they locked up in this.
I like
was a
that.
pretty cool logo.
I'm about that.
Shall we move on?
I think we get to the big segment of the episode.
Yeah, I've been in Colton's basement before. I was there a couple weeks ago. The other side's all full of Ravens stuff. It's incredible what side he decides to record on. Then he pulled out this apple like juice moonshine. That was pretty incredible, Colton. I gotta say that was good.
You're just as incredible as my football team, baby. Give me the bird. Give it to me.
Let's go
Give
into
it
the
to me.
Berg here.
Give it to me. Yes,
There we
sir.
go.
Yes, sir. Oh, George Pickens.
The Ben Roethlisberger era ended after their wild card loss after the 2021 season to Kansas City. The heir to the throne has been decided with Kenny Pickett and one-time MVP winner Mitchell Trubisky, who shared quarterback reps throughout the season. Kenny Pickett returns. He is playing lights out. Honestly, it's incredible. The Pickett to Pickens connection is going to be stronger than ever heading into 2023. Keeping Mike Tomlin's staying above 500 historic record pace alive for yet another season. And let's get into it here. The offense, besides Broderick Jones, nothing's much has changed. I don't want to talk about this, Colin, here. I want to let you talk
Nothing
about
much
this.
has changed. See, that's where you're wrong, Mr. Jets. Calvin Austin.
I hear the best thing I love for this team is Allen Robinson. I think he's going to go back to the Bears.
You got two new receivers. Allen Robinson's a Pittsburgh Steeler. Calvin Austin's finally get to make his impact as a Pittsburgh Steeler. Steelers drafted him last year out of Memphis, and he sadly never played a snap. Got hurt early on, never saw him. You got two new weapons for Kenny Pickett to throw the ball to. I'm very excited. I mean, Broderick Jones, as well as just mentioning, first-round pick out of Georgia. Isaac Sulamala coming over from Jake's lovely Philadelphia Eagles. It's a brand new offensive line on the left side, and I am very excited. The Eagles didn't want to let him go. Heard out of all the Eagles players that Sulamala was huge for them, and Pittsburgh got a fantastic player. Oh my gosh, can't speak here. I'm so excited. But yes, this offense, I think, is going to be huge. And again, a lot of question marks I don't think are on Kenny Pickett. I think it's Matt Canada. Because the Steelers moved the ball at the end of last season. The problem was they always settled for field goals. And it was very confusing why they were able to move the ball so well. But then once you get inside the red zone, sputtering the tires, questionable play calling. That's what it's going to be about Pittsburgh this year. Can they get the correct play calls? Because they got guys. Like, I don't get it. You're seeing all the highlights just out of training camp of George Pickens. Go back and watch his highlights. We'll just look up George Pickens highlights from last year. The guy's a dog.
Yeah, your man B-Wall got posted on NFL.com.
He did. Our guy B-Wall here at Steeler Nation got posted on NFL Network, ESPN, from that great catch yesterday at training camp. So the guy's special.
Yeah, Colton. I think your whole thing about that, the answer is staring you right in the face. What I found kind of weird pick, but it makes total sense when you think about they settle for field goals. Darnell Washington.
Love him. I love him.
That dude is a dog.
He is a dog. He is a Georgia Bulldog. You're all right, Jake.
6'7", and I think he only had like 25 catches last year, but I mean, that Georgia team was loaded.
Well, you also
I thought he was going to go
tight end prospect like ever.
I thought he was going to go at the end of the first round. I was like, oh, if Michael Mayer goes, I thought Darnell Washington's just going to go right off the tails, but we didn't see a tight end go night one. But of course, the Steelers get him, and it's like, why do we let this happen? Why?
There was all the talk like going into the draft that the Steelers were going to take him. I'm like, yeah, like I definitely would love to have him. But like, you already got Muth there, Connor Hayward. I know he's listed as a fullback, but can play tight end. Made some great catches for them as well last year as a rookie. But for me, I was like, I'm good. Then where they got him, I'm like, okay, I'm very happy here. And the Steelers, I thought, had the second best draft on paper behind Philly. Again, on paper, you got to see how these kids turn out. They can all turn out to be bad, and they end up having an awful draft. So, like, on paper, I thought the Steelers got everything they wanted. got great value where they picked. So I'm very excited for this team. It really comes down to Matt Canada. Like, you got a ton of size in the red zone. Like, there's no excuse. Deontay Johnson's one of the best route runners. You just talked about Washington and his size. Pat Freiermuth can jump on and catch the ball. He's a stud, mismatched at the tight end position. And you're talking George Pickens. Oh, my goodness. Allen Robinson. You literally should be scoring touchdowns left and right. Like, you cannot guard all four of those guys. And you got Najee Harris coming out of the backfield. Have fun. Like, this team should have no excuses to put up points. Like, I'm sorry.
This team looks like a red zone nightmare. Like,
that was my whole excitement going into last year, and yet they couldn't score touchdowns. But they get off the field. It's like,
short.
What are we doing here? What happens?
And you got Deontay Johnson who can run those little quick flat routes.
Yeah, he's
Pickens and Freiermuth over the middle, and then just jump balls to also Freiermuth, Allen Robinson, Darnell Washington.
Colton,
the talent's there. There's no excuse for the talent on offense. It literally comes down to Matt Canada. Because I think you're going to see a much improved Kenny Pickett. You saw it at the end of last year with the game-winning drives. I think you're going to see it again. The guy's putting in the work in the offseason. Everyone's all of a sudden surprised by Kenny Pickett.
What do you think? What do you think about Najee Harris? What is your actual thoughts about what he's done so far? Should he be better? What is he going to do this year?
He didn't have that bad of a year. Like, he still crossed 1,000 yards rushing.
Hardly.
I mean, it was like a fantasy thing, though. Like, he was a really bad fantasy back. I think he was like 27th the entire year.
Well, okay. Yeah. If you want him to be a premier running back, he's got to do more than just crossing 1,017 games, I think.
Oh, I also thought he was a heck of a lot better running back in the second half of the season. Because if anyone follows me on Twitter about the Steelers, it was, please do not let Najee Harris touch the football. So I don't know if his plantar fasciitis that he walked into camp with was the issue. He was banged up early. I don't know if he never really got healthy. Because after the bye, he looked like a different Najee Harris. So, I mean, if we get that Harris out of the gate, which so far at camp, he looks great. And him and Jalen Warren, it doesn't even get talked about enough. It's just Najee Harris. It's never really Jalen Warren. They have a great 1-2 punch for the first time in Pittsburgh in a very long time. So I think if Harris looks healthy, like he is, knock on wood, the Steelers are in business. They really are. I don't want to spend all day on it. I don't want to be that guy, but they have the potential to be very special. It is what it is. So I got to see it on paper, though. Like, I got to see pen to paper. I got to see this offense in the red zone, put up or shut up time. That's what I got to see.
Let's head on over to the defensive side of the ball, where my heart was ripped out because, of course, the Steelers signed Quan Alexander, and that honestly just ruined me because he was such a great linebacker, too, just to complement that middle with C.J. Mosley. But the defense overall, Corey Trice Jr. put on IR. I know that's a very sad thing, Cole, and he was having a really good camp so far. Got carted off with an injury yesterday.
Yeah, he did. Yes, he did.
But Joey Porter Jr. let the Porters run Pittsburgh. Screw it, put the flag down. He went to where'd he go, Jake?
Your Penn State Nittany Lions.
Penn State number 1.
Dog.
This defense overall, though, oh my God, the additions of Patrick Peterson, Kazi, Ogunjobi, I think was this offseason, right?
No, he was there last year.
Okay, but and then they also locked up.
So is your boy KZ, by the way. Your boy KZ was there last year too.
Damn.
But here's the real question:
that's a joke.
Is Watt going to stay healthy?
Yeah, I believe so. And for the first time in a long time, actually, I wouldn't say a long time, since they first drafted Alex Highsmith, they haven't really had a backup edge rusher behind TJ and Highsmith that's been like, okay, that's scary. Insert Marcus Golden. That's a 10-plus sack guy. Did in Arizona? I think he had like 9 sacks in New York. That's a very good backup edge rusher to have. So instead of rolling out some random guy, they have 2 legit ones, I think. Nate Herbig's brother, who's on the offensive line, Steelers brought him in this summer as well. Nick, they drafted at Wisconsin. Sounds like he's in TJ Watt's ear quite a bit. And TJ Watt was saying that on the NFL Network yesterday that Nick is all up in his ears, stealing his moves in practice, and he looks really good. So he actually reminds me of TJ. I don't know if it's a Wisconsin thing or what, but the guy just has a motor. He may not be huge, like TJ wasn't huge coming out of college either, but just the work ethic and just the motor on him, it's a football player. And that's what the Steelers like are football players, guys that are just going to put their head in the dirt and put in the work. And Nick Herbig looks like another one of those guys that they drafted in the 4th round. I mean, the talent is there in the Steelers. The talent is there. Like, if they could just somehow put points on the board, I think they'll get enough stops where you don't want to play them. You're not going to want to play Pittsburgh.
I just realized too that they have the Super Bowl Falcons tandem at safety with Kazi and Keanu Neal. I just noticed that.
This is such a filled out defense, like depth wise, all the way around. This is such a filled out team, legit. The fact that you have all these names, these dudes, maybe they're not at the peak of their shape now, like Keanu Neal, but I mean, I still value that guy 100%. I mean, this is such a filled out roster. When I look at this, I mean, it's just and the whole thing about this is this defense is never going to be bad. They're never going to. You don't put the Steelers don't put a bad defense out on the field. That hasn't happened, and couldn't name the last time that's happened. So I mean, I'm confident in this defense every year. Period. You know, whatever the names are, I'm still confident in this defense every time. I mean, it's the AFC North is they play a very hard-nosed defense. Most of these teams, if not just all of them, every year. I mean, that's like the culture there. So it's, these names are fantastic, wonderful, but it's going to be a product that we're used to still,
What about our boy Chris Wormley, Colton? Is he on the PUP list?
No, he's a free agent, Worm. Worm is a free agent right now.
On the ACL recovery.
So, Colton, I think this is like probably the best compliment I could give, especially this division. This is a team you don't want to see once it gets cold.
No.
The way it's constructed right now, this is not a team that you want to see once it gets cold because they're going to beat you up.
Yeah, I think that's kind of like where you see the league going in a passing offense. You got to throw the ball and put up 40 points. I think the Steelers are kind of they're going to be really balanced where a lot of teams just pass heavy. Steelers going to be really balanced. Like, I think you're going to see a lot of play action off of Najee Harris and Jalen Warren running the rock and have fun. Like, they ran the ball really well at the end of last season. Now you're adding a very good run blocker in Roger Jones. Sulemao comes over, and you know what he is. I mean, he's just a fantastic left guard. And the fact that the Steelers have Sulemao next to Broderick Jones, I think that's only going to make him better and develop him a little bit faster, having a veteran next to him at left guard. So I think the world is at the feet here for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think they can easily be a dark horse team. It looks awful coming from me, but yeah, I think they can easily be in the race for the division. Again, it's awful. I got the Steelers stuff behind me. I'm wearing a George Pickens shirt. You can't take me seriously like that's supporting my team, but I think Pittsburgh's going to surprise a lot of people. So if you're into sports gambling, I know Will's a huge sports gambling guy. Get out and bet the Steelers over. I'm pretty sure it's 8.5. Pretty sure it's 8.5. So you got to get out and jump on it because they're going to easily match 8.5. What's funny? I know you're a big sports betting guy.
Hey,
Roger, if you're hearing this.
Oh, shoot. Oh, my bad. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Not a sports gambler. Oh, no.
You have to suspend 8 games.
No, I just get fired. Let's go into the schedule here for Pittsburgh. This is a very interesting one. They open up one of the more difficult week ones against the 49ers, but at least it's at home. But I think, yeah. Got it.
You got it? I got it. There you go.
You said I'm going to do all the technical stuff.
No, something popped up on my screen and I was confused. Keep going.
I am so confused. But, God, really looking at it, their challenge before the Ravens is only the 49ers. That is probably their only, hiccup and test before they start going, the Ravens, then the bye week.
I hate to say it, like they got easily, I think, 10 wins again. That's what's hard with the North. Like every team's good. So like you're going to either have to pluck one or two off of each other and not everyone go 3-3 for someone to really run away with this thing. Because I think it's going to be close at the end of this. So, and especially if Joe Burrow's hurt and he comes out a little rusty, not having an actual preseason and training camp, being able to, get it hot and going, he might come out of the gate slow like he did last year. So, and if a team doesn't stay ice cold and slow out of the gate, like if Baltimore comes out hot, we'll see what that offense looks like. We'll get to them in a minute here. If Cleveland comes out, Deshaun Watson ends up being 2020 Deshaun Watson, and the Bengals coming out of the gate slow because Joe Burrow's hurt, this could be anyone's division, folks. So I think clearly the front runner is going to be the Bengals, but if they don't come out hot, you might have a surprise team catch you here.
I've possibly 11 games. 11,
I got 12 games.
Yeah.
I have a hard time saying this isn't a double-digit win team.
Yeah, I see at least double digits.
If I were you, if I was a Steelers fan, I'd be disappointed if it was a single-digit win team.
It would be a disappointment.
I'm pretty disappointed right now that they have to play 2 Thursday night games in a month. They got to play the Titans and they got to play the Patriots.
That's okay. I'll be traveling out there for one of those Thursday night games. Maybe
there we go.
We'll see. Those are always the cheapest. Well, so you got to take advantage of it while it's there.
That's true. But yeah, I think this is a 12-win team. I say they could go 4-1 before the bye, and then they could probably win the next 4 against the Rams, the Jaguars, the Titans, the Packers. And then this is where it gets really choppy here because I see they win, the first game against Cleveland. I say they drop this one against Cleveland. They drop against the Bengals. They're going to put up 58-0 on the Cardinals. The Patriots, I think they're going to blow out. The Colts, I think I put them at a W there, and then the Bengals as well. A W. And I think they dropped the last 2. I really do because I know it's having to go all the way to the other side of the coast on New Year's Eve, and it's just one of the tougher places to play.
I think they steal that last game in Baltimore.
Assuming Lamar's playing.
It's also assuming Lamar's playing.
I think this is I think it's a 12-win team.
I love how that's what it's turned into with Lamar Jackson if he's playing.
Wait till
it's one of these things.
Just wait till the
playoffs. Oof, 9-8. I don't think he's making the playoffs in the North. I love the confidence there, but I don't think 9-8 makes the playoffs in the AFC.
I also want to shout out this guy too,
yes.
Headless, because he gave us a really positive comment last week, and I really support that thing. The guy from the Saints, he did not give a supportive comment because he only watched 2 minutes and 24 seconds into the Saints video, and I got to only make one Slant Boy reference in there, not my 5 I did the entire video.
Well, that says heedless, just so you know.
Heedless. Wow. I agree with TJ Watt too. I think he can break the sack record if he stays healthy. I think he can do that. I think so. Now we unsubscribed. Their subscriber count went down 1. Oh.
He's the best edge rusher in the game, so it is what it is. He's the best edge rusher in the game. So, and he tied Strahan's record, and no one will ever give him credit for that because how many games played that season? If you actually looked at how many games he played, and he left 2 of them early, so they technically count as a game. He broke the record. He would have broken the record and didn't need the extra games. So make sure y'all watch the tape.
Yeah, Brett Favre also gave up that sack too for Michael Strahan.
Strahan's
let's not forget that too.
Anyway,
that record's not going to stand with the extra game. That's unfortunate.
That will be a good debate topic in the season. Which record could go down? That's always a nice filler there.
Mid-season fun stuff.
Let's go down to the other side of Colton's basement there, where the Ravens are plastered all over the other side of the wall there.
Yeah, this guy's funny.
The Ravens last year, they have Lamar Jackson came out. They won 9 games with Lamar. Well, 10 games you want to consider the game he got hurt in against the Broncos. They won 10 games with Lamar. They dropped the last 3, make the postseason. It looks like they had a shot against the Bengals until Tyler Huntley jumps over the pile and Sam Hubbard runs 98 yards down the field and ultimately seals the deal for the Bengals to win that game. In the offseason, it was all, who's going to trade for Lamar? Can't negotiate a contract. this money guaranteed, that money guaranteed. They lock up their franchise guy for a 5-year deal with $51.5 million guaranteed. And let's go into this offense here.
So can I say the first thing?
I think we might have the same thing here, so I'll let you say it.
Zero excuses for Lamar this year. Like he
That
doesn't
was not what I was going to say.
the elite passer that everyone already says he is, with a good receiving core for once, a good run game, and a good low line. They're the zero excuses.
I'm gonna work my way backwards with this one. Okay, so Lamar's at quarterback, Tyler Huntley's the backup. The running backs, though, J.K. Dobbins, he's looking for a new contract on the PUP again for another year. Gus Edwards, he's still there. The offensive line, I think that loss of Ben Powers is really going to affect the Ravens. But they I can't really consider the guy that they drafted there at left guard because he's the guy from USC and he was going to be a first 2-round prospect they got in the 6th round. He's going to be a star when he's healthy, but he won't play this year. It's going to be next year. It's the guy that tore his ACL at the combine. If you guys remember that video. The kid from USC.
Yeah, it sounds like a gunshot.
Yeah, but I love this receiving core. This gives me the shades of when they won the Super Bowl, okay? Where they had Anquan Bolden, Torrey Smith, Jacoby Jones. Odell Beckham, I'm not comparing Odell Beckham to Anquan Bolden, but Zay Flowers been giving people headaches at Ravens camp, the entire defense. Rashad Bateman, easily one of the fastest receivers on the team, with Devin Duvernay to complement him. I really think that them and then the addition of Todd Monken might explode this offense. I really think it's going to erupt. And still, Mark Andrews, a top 3 tight end in the AFC as well. I really think this offense has the capability to explode as a passing offense.
I absolutely love Zay Flowers. I think Boston College held him back from what he really could have been. And that's why he went a little underrated and fell in the draft. Wasn't considered a top guy. Even though nobody they said nobody really was, but there definitely were. I like this team. I like the way it's built. It's just if Lamar can unlock that part of his game where he's that elite passer, he can run the ball like crazy. He can throw decently well, but that extra gear he needs, he hasn't shown it yet.
So, J.K. Dobbins is not playing this year.
No, he's on the PUP. No, he'll play this year. He's not in training camp right now. He's just on the physically unable to perform list at the moment.
Edwards is cool too. I definitely needed to clarify that, And Melvin Gordon, by the way, is on this team.
I don't think he makes the team. I really don't.
No, it's so unfortunate.
As much as I want to see these running backs that are free agent that get signed, I don't think Gordon makes this team.
No.
But also, the Ravens running back room is just crowded with someone's going to get injured at some week. You're going to see another guy step up and just take over their spot. That's kind of like how this whole offense is. But this receiving core, I think, has the capability of just being like
a lot of depth too. A lot of depth. Nelson Aguilar didn't even mention Laquan Treadwell. The guys
he got hands like Aguilar.
It's guys we.
The big one here is I agree with Jake. There's no excuses for Lamar. There's none. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear anything with Lamar Jackson now. He's got everything he could ask for. Rashad Bateman's a very good player. I loved him coming out of Purdue. He's a very, very good receiver. The fact that he got Odell Beckham now, Zay Flowers, and again, top 3 in the AFC. I think he's top 3 in the NFL, and Mark Andrews. That guy's a beast. And you have a great running back room still. There's no excuse for Lamar Jackson. No excuse. They got to come out of the gate hot. Let's go. Let's see it, Lamar. So if they're struggling early, have fun. Have fun dealing with that media. Lamar, you got your weapons. Why are you struggling?
This is his best receiving core he's ever played with.
Yes, absolutely. Not a question.
And this is definitely the best receiving core that the Ravens have had since the Super Bowl run that they had back with the elite Joe Flacco. He's always been elite.
I want to ask you guys a question. We saw Lamar get that contract, right? All, injuries previously, we need to see his play elevate a little bit more for a whole season and stuff. What percentage do you have at him actually living up to that contract?
70%.
I don't think he lives up to that contract.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask what you guys thought about that because I mean I have it at like a solid.
I have it as 85%. I think he can erupt. I really think Todd Monken's going to just unlock
You
every
also are playing
because
him.
no, the old
17
defensive coordinator, it's like no, you're not allowed to do audibles at the offensive line. He's a quarterback. He has to audible the damn play. Like, come on.
If he's
No
not
wonder
able
why
to
he got fired.
There's too many excuses. There's been too many.
And
Just,
I mean, like, he's not getting hurt on the run. He's one of the smartest runners in the league. He gets hurt in the pocket. Like that's like the problem. He just gets blindsided. He tries to just move up in the pocket. That's when these injuries happen to him.
either way, you're not paying the guy to play 12 games a season. You're paying him to play 17 at one of the highest levels that we've ever seen, according to that contract. And I think that's just.
I'm very glad they paid him. I'm very glad the Ravens forked up the bill. I was getting very nervous. They weren't going to. I'm very glad.
For selfish reasons? Is that why?
Yes, for the Steelers reasons. And I want Lamar to get paid. Hey, good for Lamar getting his bag. But yeah, for Steelers reasons, I'm very glad they paid that man. I'm very glad.
That's fair.
Well, give me the defense.
Let's go to the defensive side of the ball here, where they trade for Roquan Smith midseason last year. They give Roquan Smith $20 million a year. The secondary, I mean, Rockison is not that Marcus Peters compliment to Marlon Humphreys, okay? And Arthur Mollett. Do you like it or hate it that he's there, Colton? I mean, I'm pretty sure he was a Jet at one point. It was just like he was on the bad end.
He's bounced around the league. He's a slot corner, and no way in heck they play him outside. He's small. He gets burnt quite a bit, but then he makes some plays. Like, he's a solid player. Steeler Nation, like, kind of hammered me. I'd jump into spaces and I'd be like defending Arthur Mollett, and I'd get murdered for it. Like, I'd get like peppered with like old apples, rotten apples. Like, people didn't like him. So take that as you will. I thought he was a decent player. I never like grade him as like a star corner or like a star slot guy where he's like in the top 15, but I thought he did the job. But again, Steeler Nation's happy for him to go. So tell you that. Take that as you may.
I think I could confidently say this is one of the worst defenses I've seen Baltimore have in a very long time.
Yeah.
See, I thought the same thing, and I've heard like from NFL Network and everyone else, like, this is a great defense. I'm like, why? I get to the quarterback. You have to get to the quarterback in this league. And where are they getting to the quarterback? They lost Justin Houston, who was great for them last year. Where are you getting to the quarterback on this roster? Sorry.
I hope David Ojabo can, do that.
Yeah, go blue. But, like, again, he was very good, and he had Aiden Hutchinson next to him. I'm not taking anything away from what Ojabo was, but, like, okay, you're now going to be, like, filed in on as an edge rusher, like, by yourself. Same thing with Bud Dupree. Like, Bud Dupree, when he left Pittsburgh, went to Tennessee, got paid a lot of money. I'm like, I don't know if he's going to be that good by himself, and he wasn't good by himself. So, we'll see. This is his rookie season. He clearly blew his Achilles out at the Michigan Pro Day last year. So this is his rookie season. So we'll see what David Ojabo can do. But where are you getting to the quarterback? There's nothing there. Like, I love Patrick Queen, and I don't think the Ravens love him. I don't think they picked up his fifth-year option.
I would love to trade for Patrick Queen. I really would.
I really think Howie Roseman might be sneaking around that one.
He's on the phone right now. He's watching.
I mean, their safeties are great, but Marcus Williams and Kyle Hamilton, clearly. Kyle Hamilton, rookie last year at Notre Dame. Clearly fell down the draft boards as a safety. It just happens. Nothing against him personally. Just
Jamal Adams.
We don't value safeties. So, again, their secondary solid. What Marlon Humphrey, what you're going to get from them. And clearly the two safeties are great. Marcus Williams coming over last season from the Saints. They're very good. But, like, just where are you getting to the quarterback? Like, the North has pretty solid tackles. So, where are you getting to the quarterback? Sorry, I don't see it here.
Oweh, you're forgetting about.
Yeah, that's a solid. But
Oweh and Ojabo, I think, is a nice combo. But yeah,
it's last in the North as far as edge rushers, and by quite a bit. It's not close.
It's not their lofty standard of what their defenses used to be. Them and the Steelers have a really lofty standard.
That's what I was saying before. There's a certain product we expect from this division, and from especially the Ravens and the Steelers, like Jake said. I mean,
you brand new front. You lost Justin Houston. You lost
Campbell.
Calais Campbell, and you lost.
They should not have cut him, man. I don't know what they were thinking.
Who the heck? With
JPP.
Jason Pierre-Paul. Yes, Jason Pierre-Paul. You lost him as well. So,
like, when I think of like Ravens defenses, I think of like, you got your Ray Lewis's, your Sizzle, your Ed Reed, but like there's no one on that team that's like, man, this is a cornerstone guy. I think Roquan Smith could be the cornerstone of the defense, but like they don't have that other guy that screams like, man, just like it screams like, hey, we got these three guys. They're cornerstones here for 10 plus years, 15 plus years. Like they just don't got that guy.
Roquan Smith is.
I'm putting Oweh in there.
Phenomenal.
I am. Kyle Hamilton, and you still have Marlon Humphrey, but
Marcus Williams was a great addition as well. Marcus Williams was kind of a dog on New Orleans, to be honest. But again, I think this team, like you said, is the worst defensive team we've seen from the Ravens in a long time. I think they took
even since they moved to Baltimore, it could be the worst defense we've seen. Like, there's never a time that their defense has just been bad. Like, this is probably the worst that we have seen it.
Yeah.
On paper, I hope I'm wrong.
It probably is the worst of our lifetime. You're right.
Yeah.
Hope Bernard Pollard comes in your room tonight, Dom. Let's go into the schedule here, okay?
Sorry, I was still affected by your
judging.
The seething in his eyes there.
You bring up the name of him, man. Again, like another AFC North team that has to just run through the first round of their division in the first, opening weeks.
Oh, yeah.
That's difficult too. And, oh my God, they got to go that's a difficult stretch. Houston, Cincinnati, Colts, that's not bad. But going on the road, you got to play the Browns, the Steelers, and then you got to go to London. That is a terrible stretch.
Terrible. And it's always guaranteed.
And they don't even have the bye week there. They got to go home and play the Lions a week. Like, what's going on here? That's terrible. That is just... Oh, yeah, and then there's the Cardinals. They're going to win 58-0, okay? Like...
when we're done with all these previews, I need a montage. Will says 58-0 every episode.
Lamar Jackson's gonna break the rushing record. He's gonna throw 300, throw another 600 on him. Like, this is the team I really hate is the Cardinals this year. I really do. And whenever I see them, I'm just gonna make sure that's a point.
Well, thankfully we say it one more time, I guess. All right.
On this episode, I think there's probably still another 10 times we got to talk about.
Oh, absolutely. I'm saying one more time in this episode, but yeah, it's. Again, every AFC North team, the bare minimum you could say is like 9-10 wins.
God, that's such. And then a week 13.
Dude, I have a hard time. Terrible. Jake's showing me what I thought in my head. I have a hard time saying more than 8 wins.
I counted 7.
Yeah, I actually.
Wow.
I have a real, and this is me saying they beat the Browns maybe twice. I'm like giving them a little bit of a benefit of the doubt. That last half of the season stretch sucks. That is brutal.
There's
dude.
like one win in that.
Yeah.
After the London trip.
Awful. You go 58-0 over the Cardinals, and you might not win a game for the rest of the season. Like,
yeah, they're after the bye is pretty tough. Like the first game out, the Rams, sure, they'll probably beat the Rams. Like I don't think the Rams are that good, but like after that, yikes.
I counted 9 wins.
What?
I think they beat the Dolphins. I mean, they got to play them the Ravens play them at home. The Fish don't really do good in the cold. Okay, I think they could squish the Fish that week.
Okay,
but other than that, I think after the bye they could beat the Rams and the Dolphins. I think those are the only 2 wins.
I still don't have double digit. I think this is bottom of the division. Honestly,
wow.
I
think 9 wins. I think 9 wins is a perfect total. I think
their offense is going to have to put up points where their offense really hasn't had to do that. So that's what it comes down to. Lamar Jackson, hey, that's it.
Exactly. Barring a MVP next level Lamar Jackson who stays healthy. This
is me staying healthy all season too. If that's not happening, I say it's a guaranteed bottom of the division. If he's not healthy for this whole season, I can't count on Huntley. If he's not healthy, they drop out of the division for me. That's it. because even with him healthy, like I said, I have a hard time giving them double-digit wins. I really do.
Well,
That's
they can have a
the
really good
defense,
start.
too.
Like, they have to start off really, really good. Like they have to start off like, yeah. I mean, look at the first 3 weeks. Like if they somehow Joe Burrow's still struggling, like you got to start off 3-0. Have to.
4. They have to start off 4-0.
and then you go to London. Like that's tough, man. The whole thing is tough, and then you have this second half stretch is one of the most brutal second half stretches I've seen. And then this really late bye week. I mean, dude, that's brutal. This is one of the worst schedules I may have ever seen.
It's always a rough
That's
schedule
bad.
if there's 3 road games in a row. Always. Like those
Sure.
are always the worst schedules because you're guaranteed to lose the third one.
But at least they're not going from California to like, the Cleveland or Pittsburgh and then London. At least it's all kind of like relatively, like a short plane
You're
right
going to
away.
London. I don't know how much it matters, to be honest. London.
Well, I mean, we saw the Packers last year. They went to London. They said, "Oh, we want to take a later bye week," and they got beat by the Jets. Like, I think that bye week after London's a big essential for any team that plays over there.
Again, no excuses for Lamar, but this is a tough season, and
I think the offense could do great, but I think the defense is not going to be helping them that much. I really don't think so. That defense is just going to be struggling. And if you lose Marlon Humphreys, that's like, you don't have another corner that screams like, "Hey, I could cover a wide receiver 1." It's just
Like
the Chiefs in recent seasons don't have the best defense, but we don't give Mahomes that excuse. I'm not getting Lamar gets paid enough. He doesn't.
Mahomes could drive down the field in 13 seconds to, score.
Okay.
Score.
Okay, Lamar's getting paid
like that guy.
You need him to perform like that guy, period. Colton said for selfish reasons, he likes that contract, and there you go. You pay Mahomes to do that, Mahomes does it. You're paying this guy to do that. We need him to do that. No excuses, period.
You got to put up points. There's no excuse for him not to put up points. That's kind of what it is. That's what this team is.
Yeah.
Oh, brother. Shall we go to the last team?
Give me the bungholes.
Is this heaven? Is this hell? Or are we just in Ohio? That's how I got to start that open.
That was kind of funny.
Animaniacs. Gotta love it. But 16 games last year for the Bengals, 12-4 record, 3-3. After struggling, I thought that they were going to be a Super Bowl hangover team. That second half they unlocked and they went off. Joe Burrow and company, another AFC North win, another 2 playoff wins, beating the Bills up in Buffalo, but ultimately falling short against the now Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs. But if there is a team that is right now, we don't need paper, we could just see consistency to knock off the Chiefs. This is that team. This is the team that can knock off these Kansas City Chiefs. And let's get into it. Bam, bam. Bam, bam. Yeah, there we go. Bam, bam, bam. You want to know something really weird last year? So we know Jamar got hurt last year. He had the hip issue that he suffered in New Orleans. He goes against the Falcons, hurts it. He's out 4 weeks. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, both 1,000-yard guys. Tyler Boyd, 762 last year with, I think, 5 touchdowns as well. Really solid stuff by the Bengals here. Trenton Irwin, best wide receiver 4, best, I don't know, since Julian Edelman. I think he's going to make himself a pretty big piece in the offense, depending on what happens with T. Higgins coming up later in the bit. But the offensive line, too, they signed Orlando Brown to a very big contract for 3 years. The offensive line, I want to see Lel Collins come back. I mean, Jonah Williams right now is filling in for him, but I know he requested a trade because he wants to play left tackle. He does not want to play right. That's what's going to be right there. But the thing I do not like about this offense is the tight end room. Irv Smith Jr. with the Vikings for 3 years. Yeah, the Vikings. There was nothing impressive about him. There was really nothing that gave me.
Don't worry. I mean, to be fair, there wasn't anything impressive about Hayden Hurst either. To be fair, like nothing was impressive about him at the ATL there. But he somehow came in and was really good for them. So it's kind of hard to say that. So I get you don't love Irv Smith, but Same people didn't love Hayden Hurst, and then I think the Falcons took him.
I didn't
early.
like Hayden Hurst because he was a 27-year-old drafted guy. That's the only reason why I didn't like him.
And he was great for the Bengals last year. So he got.
And also, while I was bickering with Jake today, I learned that Brandon Browner, when he first went into the league, he was 27 years old as well, and he only had 5 years in the NFL. But I think the highlight here, I know it's August 2nd. We're talking about the Bengals. Joe Burrow has that calf strain. That backup room with Trevor Siemian, Jake Browning, Reed Sinnett, XFL legend. This is like, I really feel like they have to figure out, okay, if Joe Burrow can't go week 1, who can you start out of this group?
Well, it's clearly Trevor Siemian, but that's not great. You should have somewhat of a decent backup, knowing that Joe Burrow has taken his licks and hasn't really been healthy. So, and the fact that they have Trevor Siemian as your backup, it's not really a great situation there. So, again, Joe Burrow, I think, is going to be back early, but you do not rush him back, man. Cannot be good if they rush him back.
And the offensive line was ranked 26th last year after they put all this money into signing 4 new guys.
I mean, this team essentially isn't very different from last year.
It's really not. I mean, you got Joe Burrow. I mean, I'm sold on him. I was really nervous about him, that second year coming off the ACL. He's, he has gone through the COVID preseason. He had to recover from the ACL a second year. He had appendicitis last year. Now he has the calf strain. I think he's only had like 4 normal practices in his entire just Bengals career during training camp.
We could say what we could say, right? But Joe Burrow being a little bit hurt is not new. This offense really, there's nothing that's really changed too much. Like, we say what we could say, but I feel like, sky is still the limit for this offense. It is,
Especially since, I love Charlie Jones. Charlie Jones is I think it's a difference maker because they can just go full wide receivers and say screw the tight end until you get to the red zone.
Yeah. But I also don't think, Colton was right about everything he said about Hurst, and I don't think Irv Smith is – I don't think his career – I don't think we've closed the door on that yet. So, whatever. It's just – we know what we expect with this team, and I think we're going to get what we expect, and that's that,
I really thought they were going to draft the tight end. I was like, oh, yeah, Darnell Washington, bring him to,
this
Cincinnati.
was a good year.
I was like, man, that's – I'm like, come on. It looks like DNA. It's meant to be. What can you do? But I mean, hey, there are a lot of big expectations there in Cincinnati because, hey, as Joe Burrow said, that Super Bowl window is my entire career, and he's going to try to keep it open as long as he can. Let's head over to the defensive side of the ball here. Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is the worst defense in this division.
Really?
Wow. You think this is worse than Baltimore? I don't.
I do.
Trey Hendrickson's the home run. Isn't Awuzie? He tore his ACL against the Browns last year.
Right? So
I don't know if he's going at it right now, but coming off an ACL and with a not so strong, cornerback room, I think it's gonna show early on until he can get his feet under him and just feeling better. Because I know it's that 18-month grace period of post ACL surgeries where you start really feeling like yourself again.
Yeah, the only upgrade that I really see is Nick Scott's better than Eli Apple, and it's not even the same exact position, but you lost a lot of guys. You lost a lot of guys.
Yeah, that
D line is not where most of the star teams are. Especially not.
You have 2 very good edge rushers, though.
But you said the same about Baltimore, where it's if you got 2 guys, you don't really have a line.
They got 2 edge rushers, where Baltimore has none, really, in my opinion.
The Raiders have had 2 star guys for a while.
Yeah, I hear you. Music to my ears. Another struggling defense in your eyes. Hey, it works for me, Jake.
I do think this could be the worst defense in this division. I do have a hard time.
That works for me too, boys. It works for me. again, it comes down to these guys putting up points. It's literally what it is. These guys are going to have to put up points.
I still think this defense can do.
And they will put up points.
Still do what they've been able to do. I know it's not going to be as good as we've seen, like last year, 2021, but like I still think it's a really good group. I think it's a super solid group still.
Their whole thing is bend but don't break, so you're going to be able to march on them. It's just that they're kind of their bread and butter has always been holding to 3.
But again, if they need to score points, they'll do it. I mean,
still like Jermaine Pratt, Logan Wilson, Dax Hillman. I'm interested to see his development going into the year too. I didn't really hear too much about him last year.
I really like Jordan Battle. He was a really good leader guy too. But
and also DJ Turner as well. I think he can step up as well, especially as a rookie.
It's just like now they have safeties and no corners.
Yeah, the secondary is a lot of question marks. It's a lot of moving pieces back there, so they could get burned early.
I mean, I think Battle can play like a box nickel guy, but
you can see them get burned early until they figure out the communication in the back end. It's a whole new secondary. So you're throwing a lot of guys into different roles. So trust me, boys, I'm cool with it. I'm cool with them having a bad defense. I'm fine with it. That's fine. We're going to have to put 50 points. That's fine. But, yeah, the division's loaded. It's going to be a great division. Give me the schedule, Will. What do we got?
Listen, I'm letting Dom do the controls here. I'm not touching anything, okay?
I will say, for the college guys out there, if for any kind of reference, I mean, I do think that's what this team could be.
And Jake's gone. Got him.
Yeah. Hi.
Houdini. Yeah, but this schedule, I mean, I think week 1 still. I mean, do you have Joe Burrow or do you have Trevor Siemian? You still have that great receiving core, but you got Trevor Siemian.
I think they have Joe Burrow.
Yeah, I think Joe Burrow still plays week 1. I don't think they were that worried about it, to be honest. I think they're kind of like,
I think he got hurt too so early, so he has 6 weeks to recover. So
I think
at worst you have like 80% Joe Burrow at worst,
just for 1 week. I think it'll be okay. I think they're pretty confident that like more than enough time will have passed, and they'll be pretty good with that. I feel like if it was really a question mark, we would be hearing more about it. It'd be more of a bigger deal. But they kind of brushed off the whole thing, So I feel like they're pretty happy with the timing of it.
I think they could go 6-0 before the bye, maybe 5-1. I think it depends what Seattle gives you. I think that's the toughest battle that they have. After the bye, that's difficult. The Niners, the Bills, and then you got the Texans. I don't know. I think 12 wins. 12 wins, 13
Yeah,
wins.
is that the minimum? I got to run, boys, but they're another 12-win team. They're another 12, could be 13 wins. I agree with you, Will. They can easily start off 6-0.
I think we got to copy and paste the last year for the most part.
I think
it's going to be Joe Burrow. How healthy is he? Is this worse than they're making it seem? If he's fine, they're going to be fine, and they're going to most likely be on top of the North unless there's some drastic injury for Joe Burrow or Jamar Chase. That's kind of where this is going to go because they're going to have to put up points. But lads, as always, great show, boys.
We'll see you in 2 weeks.
I might jump in next week. I'll be in the car, though, so I might have to, screen all the headphones in.
Finally, we get the weather report.
Colton on the road.
Remember Josh?
I wouldn't say the same
I was thinking the same thing.
Josh, I don't want to the phone up in his face.
Oh, no, wait, I'm driving.
What a clip. What a great clip we have, though, out of that, See ya, Colton. Yeah, I like it's hard to analyze and really hard to talk about just because I really do. My whole entire analysis about this team is I kind of think it's just copy and paste, run it to win a Super Bowl again, and that's that.
I think the floor is 10 wins, okay? And the ceiling is a Super Bowl victory. That is like that's
10 wins can still get you a Super Bowl victory though, so.
But I mean, you much rather play in your home stadium rather than have to go anywhere. I mean, ask anyone. I mean, No one wants to go to Philly to play in the playoffs because that's just that's a battle on its own. No one wants to go to Seattle to go play a game. No one wants to go to Arrowhead. No one wants to go there.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Burrowhead. I'm sorry.
That worked out well.
Episode.
We're talking about the Bengals, and we'll diss them. I love it.
No, that's what they said. It's Burrowhead. Okay.
No, I just, I think it's just.
We have to call you a jabroni.
Everything's going to be the same as last year. Let's just have a great season, run it back,
the last three games at Pittsburgh, at Kansas City, and then you're home for Cleveland. I mean, it depends what's going to be happening week 18 with, them and Cleveland if they're fighting for, any playoff rights.
I mean, they had that huge game, week 17 of last year against Buffalo. Now they have this huge game, week 17 against Kansas City.
I mean,
that's kind of tough.
Don't forget the huge game against Arizona. That's 58-0 win for them. Joe Burrow's going to break the passing record.
That's going to be 60.
69. Oh, no, if the Chiefs are playing, if the Chiefs are playing, it would be 69-0. Okay, we know that. But this is the Bengals episode. But yeah, 10 wins as a floor and a Super Bowl victory as the ceiling.
So, Will, do you want to just put a bow on this and do our kind of season, like our division prediction? Like what we think?
I mean, I think it's the Bengals division to lose. I mean, honestly. But I mean, I can ask this too. I didn't ask this with the Ravens, and I choked on it. What will make this season successful for
you? Knew our answers for the Ravens. Let's be honest.
Lamar being the guy everyone told
us
he already was.
Yeah, I need Lamar's game to be elevated for 17 games.
What about the Bengals? What will make the season successful for the Bengals?
Super Bowl. It's just a Super Bowl.
That's it. Super Bowl.
Expectations are high in Cincinnati. Expectations are high. The team has not changed enough where it's like we expect a big change in wins and performance. We expect a Super Bowl, or we go for it the next year, and that's just what it is. I mean, the core is put together, and that foundation is set. It's the same one as last year, and it's just Super Bowl or bust for the Bengals, man. That's it. Not to say that the season's a failure if you win 12 games and make it to the AFC Championship.
I mean, man, you're making 3 consecutive playoff runs. Like it's like the Buffalo, it's the '90s Bills all over again.
Disappointment.
It will be a disappointment. I'm not going to call it a failure. That's hard to call a failure.
I mean, I could call it a failure. If you don't go back, then I think you look back on this as like just a failure.
You need to start when Burrow needs to win a Super Bowl before it turns like 30. So,
well, I think he needs to win the Super Bowl before this contract gets signed, but who knows when that's gonna get done? Soon.
Yep.
I think that rounds out the show for episode number 95. 96. I mean, I lied last week. If you made it to the end of last week's episode, it was the super exciting AFC South, but we flip-flopped it because Colton won't be here, so we got that all around. So flip the AFC South to the 9th, and then flip the AFC North to this one. So AFC South next week. Get the back-to-back AFCs all said and done. 2 rookies, and Jacksonville's just going to run the division next year. That's all you got to know about the AFC South.
We skip it entirely.
I think it'll be fun.
You just did the entire episode in one sentence.
I think it'll be fun.
Will Levis.
Yeah, I mean, it's
everyone's thing there. Okay, here. Let's see progression from DeMeco Ryans. Let's see how good he is as a head coach, and CJ Stroud. Hopefully you don't trade away Jonathan Taylor in Indianapolis, and we could maybe see some hints of Anthony Richardson. Oilers uniforms. That's
we get more news from that before next week.
They're going to hold him hostage.
Jonathan Taylor, just something.
Irsay said he's not trading him.
Yeah. Continue, Will.
Yeah, then the Jacksonville Jaguars, the most exciting team in the South.
It's true. Well,
I'm excited, but I'm excited for the NFC North. That's 2 weeks from now, but I'm itching for that division.
Yeah, it'll be good. It'll be honestly, the rest of the previews I think are all going to be pretty stacked, all going to be pretty good, exciting, fun to pick apart. I look forward to that. The 2 Easts and then the AFC South, the NFC North. I think those are going to be good. The Easts are going to be great. Ending our previews with those are going to be fun.
I just can't wait for their season previews. Gonna wear suits for that? Can we talk about that now? We're gonna wear a nice suit. We're gonna look all, the season prediction episode. Gonna look all nice.
It's actually not a bad idea because
I mean we've done that before. I mean we could always do it again.
We're gonna have clips out of that 100%.
I think I might die in this room, but
yeah, we might die in this room. We might have to get
I'm dying right now.
We're gonna have to get like ice packs that we switch in and out of our suits or something. But whatever.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. Rate us 5 stars on your local podcast platform. Like and subscribe wherever you can find us. Follow us. Oh, no, I don't even know if it's follow us anymore because, Elon Musk. Oh, I got to make an X.
Break up with us. So you
Yep. Make us your X. Make us your X. Come on, then we can sing the Ariana Grande song. Thank you next.
Yeah, no, it's all at the bottom.
Find us all below For the Fan Network on YouTube, For the Fan Network on TikTok, Twitter, X, if you're a loser, For the Fan _, and also Instagram, For the Fan Football.
Daily stuff on TikTok for the most part, and YouTube. YouTube has everything. YouTube has it all.
YouTube has everything. I love the comment section. You always sound off in the comments
Comments
section.
are good.
It's always fun.
Comments have been good. Will breaks down this whole episode into 4 for each team. That's on the YouTube. Easy to find.
I try to tag as much as I can. So I put for the Cardinals like 0-17, disappointing seasons. Like I know how the tags work on YouTube.
58-0.
Yeah, you're well literate though.
Yeah, you called
can't read, but
yeah, you said headless or you said headless earlier, and me and Jake.
Now we're down to 11 subscribers. I messed it up. Oh man.
Okay. Like, just smiled. It's probably you got to go back and watch that. Might be a good clip.
All right, but everyone, thank you for tuning in. Tune back in next week. Every Wednesday, we're live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter.